Hey folks, Pete here. Today on Pete's Prompts, we're going to build a state machine for customer fallbacks. And to help, I'm going to show you how I use Claude Sonnet 3.5 as a co-pilot for both prompting and design. Alright, so let's fire up Claude and get started. I'm going to input our goals and our guardrails for handling fallbacks. Our main goal here is to get the user back on track and capture the info we need. The guardrails, well, that's basically how we're going to handle the fallback itself. So I've just explained all this to Claude, and look, we've got this nifty little mermaid diagram. Okay, so looking at this, it's actually done it pretty well. Now, let me explain the guardrails for this build. So number one, if we can answer with our knowledge base, we'll do that, then circle back and try to get the user back on track. For completely random utterances, we'll politely decline and redirect. If they want a human, then we'll transfer. And we've got some logic here also if, we need to bow out of the flow, maybe something's going wrong. Now let's switch gears and hop into Voiceflow. First things first, I'm grabbing a component. And why? Well, because I want the conversation logic to be super flexible. I want it to be something that I can plug in and use wherever I need it. And a component's perfect for that. All right, so now I'm dropping a set AI step onto the canvas. Whoops, it looks like I can't spell analyze today. No worries, we'll fix that up. Now, before we dive into prompting, let's set our logic branches. We need routes for answering the knowledge base, handling unrelated queries, speaking to a human, ending the flow, and I guess we should put an else one there, just to be safe. Okay, back to Claude we go. Time to build our prompt, and I'm going to reference the mermaid diagram we made earlier and giving Claude the lowdown of what we need in this prompt. So some of the things that we're going to need are a clear role for the AI agent, sort of evaluation criteria, things like context understanding, response relevance, query detection, engagement level, maybe a topic change or the emotional state of the user, and plus also maybe break down the actual conversation itself. Categorization guidelines, and rules and important notes for all of our different paths. Okay, so it looks like Claude has cooked up a prompt for us. It looks pretty good, but I think we're missing output indicators. Let me ask Claude to add those in. Now, back to Voiceflow. I'm copying over our shiny new prompt. We're going to use Claude Sonnet 3.5. Why not? We did the prompt in that. And I'm going to dial down the temperature to 0.2. We want consistent outputs here. And we're applying the output to our conversation direction variable. Time to add some logic. So I'm going to use the contains value. And this is really so that we can make sure that even if the LLM throws in some extra words, we'll still match the right path. All right, the moment of truth. Let's give this component a test and give it a run. That didn't work. Oh, I see why. It should have been contains, not is. Quick fix. Let's try again. And it worked. Lovely. All right, let's try a few more scenarios just to be sure. Okay, this is working pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. All right, nice. Oh, all right, that one didn't quite hit the mark. Almost perfect, but let's tweak the prompt a bit more and I'll, give Claude a few ideas of how to handle that. All right. It's all looking pretty good now. All right. Okay. I'm going to create a prompt that gets the user back on track. I'll also share a similar prompt that I've used before from another state manager that I've created, just to give Claude some context into the kind of thing I'm after. Let's get that prompt into Voiceflow and build out the flow for this one. Now, we need to save the last response to another variable. This is because when we answer from the KB, that's going to actually take up the last response variable. So we need to save what we previously said so that we can re-ask that question. Now let's add the KB component and the prompt, and time for another test run. Okay, so it hit the KB successfully, but that response is a bit verbose and it's not quite what we want. I think that maybe we should try to provide some examples as to how we want it to respond. Okay, so I'll put how it responded, say that to Claude, and then we'll try to tell it to add some examples and we'll go from there. All right, let's give this one a shot. And still a bit rubbish. I wonder if this is because of the model. Let's give 4.0 Mini a try. Okay. That's it. Okay, 4.0 looks like it's better with this. I think Claude sometimes can be a little bit verbose. All right, now we've got this working, I can use very similar prompts for all the other outcomes in this flow. I'm going to ask Claude to help me rewrite them for our specific use cases here. Okay, a few notes here. I'm adding in all the prompts and putting some logic around the unrelated question. Basically, the idea behind this is if they keep asking unrelated questions, we'll eventually bump them out of the flow. Now, let's get all of this onto the canvas, or the main canvas, I really should say, and add everything. So I'm going to add the component, add some logic afterwards, a listen step, and this is going to prevent users from going into an endless loop. Well, I hope anyway. All right, folks, it is the moment of truth. Let's put our state machine through its paces. Okay, so first up, how much can my bag weigh for this flight if I'm checked in? All right, that worked perfectly. It recognized the KB question and provided the right info. All right, so next. I really like cheese. How about you? All right, excellent. And caught that as an unrelated question and steered us back on track. Okay, let's try something weird. Okay, do you eat Diet Coke on Mars? I don't know where that came from. Yeah, sweet, that worked well. It politely declined and tried to get the customer to refocus on the conversation. Okay, last one. Who is your daddy and what does he do? All right, that worked, but I don't think I linked things up properly because we should have bumped them out of the flow. All right, let's make a quick change. Okay, I think this is all working now. Okay, perfect. Now it's handling everything, even the most random queries. All right, let's run through a few more. All right, everything's working pretty smoothly. Our state machine is categorizing queries correctly, providing appropriate responses, and maintaining the conversation flow like a champ. And folks, there you have it. We have built a robust state machine for handling customer fallbacks. It's identifying different types of queries, tapping into the knowledge base when needed, and gracefully handling those curveball inputs. I hope you enjoyed this long-awaited episode of Pete's Prompts, and I promise I will do more very, very soon. There won't be as big a wait between each one, but until next time, stay curious.